Welcome back to the American Rancher. Wedel Red Angus is located in western Kansas at Leote. Frank and Susan Wedel have found great demand for their Red Angus for more than a quarter of a century.
This ranch encompasses about 9,500 acres of grass, and we can run about 400 cows here. Normally these cows will stay here year-round, and in the wintertime it's a grass and cake operation. And we stockpile a little hay to feed them in case the snow gets deep, which hasn't happened lately either, but we are prepared to feed them hay if we have to, but many years we feed very little hay, and it's all grass and cake. Calve out here on the range, and these cows will come here as 2-year-olds, and the next truck ride will be the one that they'll either be sold to someone to keep them as cows or sold as salvage. Everything that we do has as that goal that animal in the feedlot, and how we can make that animal better through the genetics we sell. We never forget the cowherd traits and the economic traits of fertility, stability, and heifer pregnancy, and easy doing, easy fleshing, good disposition kind of cattle that are easy to handle. Those are first and foremost. But we also like to not stop there, and we want to make cattle that somebody can buy, and if they retain ownership in the cattle, they know they'll do well in the feed yard, and if they don't, if somebody else buys them, they'll want to come back and buy them again the next year. My introduction to Red Angus was started in the mid-'80s when we had some cattle on feed at Tribune, and the yard manager said, "I want to show you a set of cattle," and he showed me a set of Red Angus steers that were just ready for harvest. He said those are the best doing cattle we get every year. They were from a ranch in Montana. In 1988, I obtained a lease on a ranch, and I wanted to make some cows. I thought they would work good with residue management on the farm. It was a little bit late in the year, but I found some really nice heifers, but I needed some bulls, so I called an ad in the paper of some bulls of a different color, and they were supposed to be calving ease, low birth weight bulls, and so everything was good. Most of them settled. We started calving, and out of 103 heifers, we pulled 76 heifers and had 7 cesareans, and we ended up with only 72 live calves with that experience. I went to my banker and was trying to explain to him why I only had 73 live calves and had all these open heifers. He said, "Oh, we used to have trouble like that, but then we bought some Red Angus bulls, and they were born little and grow up big, and we couldn't be happier." And that's when I bought my first Red Angus bulls that next spring. I bought a set of Red Angus heifers that spring, and then I went to that herd in Montana and bought a set of bred heifers from them. And those are the base of my 1B cows. We bred those cows up, recorded them, and bred them up, and now probably 20 generations later or a little more, they're in the pedigree of nearly every 1B animal on the place, and they are absolutely as superb as they were 25 years ago. Everything gets AI'd one time, and then bulls are turned in. We have a tight 65 or 70 day window when we pull the bulls, and we are really non-forgiving in that aspect of it. We do all AI. We do a little ET work, but not a whole lot. That's something that's on the radar now, and maybe we'd increase that a little bit. But for right now, we're mostly AI and then clean up bulls. I use as many bulls as I can from our breeding program because of the comfort level, but I also like to go outside to different programs and bring genetics in. But as we develop this program, the more we get into it, the more we like what we're producing, and I guess if I'm not willing to use it, then I'm not sure why somebody else would want to either. So we really do stand behind what we do. We believe in what we do, and by using it back in our program, we say that we stand behind it.
Frank Wedel, my good friend Frank. I've been buying his bulls for, gosh, many years. Leote, Kansas, that's another trip with Mary Otley. And we go back to Leote, Kansas every year. Will DeLong and me and a few other people, and those bulls work for us. They come out here, we like Frank. We really like Frank. And anyway, the bulls work good in this country. Frank will come to Winnemucca and he'll bid on all his calves, and we like that too. And he feeds them, goes back to Kansas for it with them. And anyway, so we'll be going back again next year.
We've been buying bulls from Frank for 12 years now. And I've been happy with all of Frank's bulls. Yeah, they come in good shape, and they seem to do the job. I've been real happy with them.
Part of our operation is a hybrid program. You've seen some buckskin colored cows, and we have a Charolais Red Angus hybrid that we're working to develop even more. We've had great response to those red-hided 3/4 Red Angus quarter Charolais bulls. We have the buckskin bulls. They're just exactly the same genetics, but I think people want just to keep their herd the same color, and I think that's why the red is a little more predominant in value than the buckskin. But we find those females are just as fertile, gentle, good-uddered, easy to handle as our straight Red Angus cattle are, and we'll continue to make them as long as somebody wants to buy one. We're going to continue to make one. They add a little bit of meat. There's a little more meat in those cattle, and a little more, which translates in yield out of the feed yard. So that program has worked really well for us. We do have some Sim Angus hybrids as well, and we are using a bull that we raised in our Simmental program. He's a 3/4 blood bull, and we're breeding all our 3/4 blood and half-blood cows back to the bull that we raised. We think he's as fine a Sim Angus bull as I've seen for a while, and so we're really pleased with the opportunity to use him in our herd. I'm at Ward Feed Yard in Larned, Kansas, and this is the pen of Red Angus steers that we purchased from one of our bull customers. We purchase as many of these calves as we can, and we feed them to harvest. I like to share carcass data with our customers. The only way I know to really make improvement is to get the actual measurements of these cattle, and by doing that, why I help them, helps me, helps the whole industry. We're going to guess the gain on these cattle has been somewhere in the 4.5 pound a day range since 800 pounds. And when we get to the harvest data, why we'll share it with our customers. We anticipate these cattle would grade somewhere in the 85% choice range, a minimum of 4s, and probably maybe 35% upper choice and prime. For calf feds, we think that's a reasonable goal, and I think that they'll hit that just fine. We buy our customers' calves just so we can get a measure of how we're doing selling bulls. Are we producing the right kind of bulls that the industry wants? And really the best way I know to do that is to purchase those calves back and to feed them to harvest, and then share the data with our customers. By doing that, it gives them a service. I believe it's a service to the industry, and besides that, I enjoy doing it. And sometimes I even make a little money at it. Our production sale is held every year the second Tuesday of March. We'll sell about 140 Red Angus and hybrid bulls. We'll also buy large groups of heifer calves from our customers, and we sort those calves and test them and examine them, and the very best then are sold in our sale for replacements. And we've had great response to that. Many repeat buyers and wonderful response, continued great response. Last year we held a few of those over and bred them for fall calves, and this year we'll have some more of those fall calving heifers in our sale as well.
That's all the time we have today. We hope you enjoyed this wonderful information about the great traits of Red Angus and these two operations, Ludwigson Stock Farms and Wedel Red Angus. For more information about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or check us out on Facebook. For the entire American Rancher team, I'm Pam Minnick. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.